What's up, Thralls of Metal? Jammin Jon here again, bringing you my part 2 installment of my top 40. I believe this is 25 through 11, so yeah, please buckle up and join me for my next top 40. Once again, I'm very thankful to be here, very thankful to have heard all the albums I've heard this year, and this next batch are a bunch of bangers because that's what 22 was. So we'll just dive right into it. Number 25, Telekinetic Yeti with Primordial. This, again, for me, was my first dance with this band. You ever smoke pot in an Econo Online van with Spirit Caravan? I'm sure these guys did. In fact, I'm quite sure they did. In fact, if you look at these song titles, you'll figure it out for yourself. Do you like stony dronies and super catchy melodic riffs with minimal vocal interaction? If you do, you're gonna love Telekinetic Yeti. This was so entertaining in the fact that it brought back a piece of me that I haven't visited in quite some time. Albeit I am a stoner, I kind of left stoner doom bands behind for a while when I got into death metal. But this band brought back all my love for, Weed Eater and Mystic Crew, the Clear Light Revival, and some of the sludgy heaviness of Crowbar. It's all in this band, and I like the fact that there are minimal vocals. Stoned Ape Theory, Toke Wizard, Tides of Change, Ancient Nug. Come on. There's really no hiding what's happening here. I smoked an Ancient Nug while jamming this album, and it made it all the much better. But yeah, if you guys haven't heard these dudes yet, check out Telekinetic Yeti. They are worth every penny and every ounce of your time. Coming in at number 24, Nomos with Consume, Deny, Report. This album gives no fucks about you or about anybody else in the room at all. Super intense, heavy, in-your-face grind. It is hefty when it needs to be. It is fast all the time. It is an absolute kick to the bazongas. We just saw these guys live not too long ago. They whoop ass. Thank you, Nomos, for playing a show in Detroit. Thank you for playing MDF. I've enjoyed this band now both times that I've seen them, and I just love the super intensity of this grind album. Nomos. What is that, no more? Nomos? I don't know, I don't speak Spanish. But these guys, Nomos. I love this band. You guys should check this band out. Definitely check out this record. Show Nomos some love. They fucking deserve it. Sorry, Mr. Skull. Coming in at number 23. Demiricous with Chaotic Lethal. First of all, how are you going to release a record this awesome? How are you going to release your comeback record and then break up? I know the story. Scott, Nate, Ben, Dustin, guys, it was a pleasure to see you guys in Indianapolis this summer. Thank you for this album for sure. Thank you for coming back and giving it one last shot. They released a fucking banger. They kind of seem to have moved away from the Little Slayer that they were known as and branched out and made a thrashy, death metal-y kind of blackened, just barn burner of an album. I've always been a giant Demiricous fan, even outside of knowing these guys personally. I've always loved this band, and this was a great comeback record, and unfortunately they have broken up, so if you didn't get a chance to see this live, you're not gonna, but definitely check out this record. Still show this band some love. I love these guys dearly. Really great record. The title track on here, Chaotic Lethal, is probably one of the heaviest songs I think this band has ever written. This was definitely more focused. You could just tell that they were having fun with it. Again, it's a shame they broke up, but this record still kicks ass and still definitely deserves the number 23 spot on my list. So, yeah, Demiricous, thanks guys, love you. Number 22. This band needs no introduction nor any explanation. Immolation with Acts of God. It's Immolation, okay? Immolation kicks ass. They don't have a bad record. I'm sure we'll rank this eventually, and I know for a fact that it'll suck to rank because I fucking love Immolation. This seems to be kind of a little bit less, at least to me, I thought a little bit less chaotic and a little bit more focused. They were trying for like a little bit darker, structured songs here. Steve's drum performance is just fucking nasty. All the riff work. I love Immolation. You want me to name all of them? Abandon, An Act of God, The Age of No Light, Noose of Thorns, Shed the Light, Blooded, Overtures of the Wicked. I'm not gonna name them all, but they all kick ass. It's Immolation. Check out this record. It whoops ass. Just do it. Do it. I love it. It's Immolation. The fuck you want? Number 21, Descent with Order of Chaos. You know what's messed up? Is I jammed this record a bunch when it came out, and then kind of forgot about it as new releases came along, and then I was going over Necrotic Nick's list of albums that he had for end of year, and I saw Descent on there, and I literally smacked myself in the face. I can't believe I forgot about this. Anything that sounds like Immolation, Suffocation, and Morbid Angel, drenched in HM2 filth and groove, automatically gets my vote. That's this band. Another relentless, chuggy, groove-laden beatdown. What can I say about this band besides it whoops ass and you should check out Descent? Dragged has played over and over. Like, if you were to get into my Spotify playlists, Dragged has played probably 170 times. These guys are always on my list. Another go-to for heavy, filthy, chuggy, which is what I like. Here we are. We've already gone 20 albums deep. And here we are at number 20, Gaerea. No one's ever actually still told us how to say it. I say Gaerea, some people say Gaerea, some people probably even pronounce this totally different, but the album Mirage. Again, as I continue to fall in love with black metal, or certain aspects of black metal, again, the Black and Death. These guys, though, I love the atmosphere that this band creates. And I love that they create that atmosphere without drenching it in synths or tons of reverb, or you can't really make out what's happening. It just seems like these guys create such a thick, chunky atmosphere. The drum work on here is nuts. I love how clear everything is and how much you can hear all the instruments come together in the production. They write these long, just kind of nasty, dark, bleak songs. And that's what I really like about this band. I also like all the Gojira nods in here. Either they nodded to Gojira or Gojira nods to them or whatever. They seem to be pretty closely knit with one another. When they blast, they blast. When they groove, they groove. Now I get to see them in 2023. I think they just released a tour announcement with Rotting Christ, which is going to be fucking nasty. I like the crystal clear tones, the caustic atmosphere, the tortured vocals. If you've never heard this band, you're missing out. And if you ever decide to watch videos with these guys, prepare to be kind of creeped out, because it's dudes in these crazy looking masks and they're usually in the dark. It's just kind of like staring into the void, which is kind of what this album is. I especially love the song Deluge, if that's how you pronounce it. Dolge, I don't know. Words are hard, math is even harder, but Gaerea, whatever you call it, is fucking awesome. I love it. Coming in at number 19, Haunter with Discarnate Ails. Took me 4 fucking times to say that. I don't know why. 3 songs, 31 minutes. What year-end list, for me at least, would be complete if I didn't say Chugs and Dissonance. I think this is the first time I've said them both in a sentence. I'm going to say them again just for fun. Chugs and Dissonance. The song Overgrown with the Moss, again, has played on my Spotify playlist over and over and over again. Super nasty riffs, melodic, ambient, a great mix of black metal and death metal. You ever heard the band Replicant? If you haven't, go check that out. But the lead singer of the band Replicant has this really kind of like tortured, pleading, moaning, yelling growl to it. And the lead vocalist of Haunter has the same, and I like that. But again, for 3 songs at 31 minutes, this album is riffy and melodic, and there's tons of groove, and it's a nasty, dark atmosphere. And I'm going to say it again for funsies, Chugs and Dissonance. If this is a drinking game and you're following along, you should be at least somewhat buzzed by now. Chugs and Dissonance, Haunter, Discarnate Ails. Listen to it. Number 18. Guys, I know you're watching. I know you saw the shout out in Necrotic Nick's list. It is on my list as well. Them Ohio boys from Cleveland. Axioma with Sepsis. Neurosis-y death metal. Drones, grooves, dissonance. Incredible guitar tones. Amazing drum work. The song The Tower whoops ass. A New Dark Age. God Extraction whoops ass. You might even see these guys on an upcoming death metal festival. I won't say anything too much, but you might even see them. check out Axioma, please. Ohio has such a wonderful death metal scene right now, and I'm so happy to be able to add these guys to the list. Axioma whoops ass. I've jammed this record nonstop, again for months. You're doing yourself a disservice. If you haven't heard Axioma with Sepsis here, you're doing yourself a disservice. Fucking check them out. This album rules. Moving on. Number 17. I would totally be a fool if I did not have this record on my list. Devin Townsend with Lightwork and Nightwork collectively. It is a 2-disc release. If you saw our review, Necrotic Nick and I both reviewed this record and gave it high praise because why wouldn't we? It's Devin Townsend. Devin Townsend writes the most amazing, beautiful albums. The mixes are always perfect. The transition between these two albums, Lightwork being the more mellow, trancey, hip-hoppy kind of thing, and Nightwork being the heavier stuff. Don't get me wrong, while I love heavy music, I really believe that I jammed Lightwork, the lesser hefty of the two, the more calm, clean one. Moon People, Lightworker, Celestial Signals. The song Vacation is brilliant. I love everything that this man does. Everything that he touches turns to gold. I've seen him now in concert a couple times, but this record is just sheer beauty. And then, of course, you get down to the heavier of the two, Stampy's Blaster, Factions, Precious Sardine. If you have not heard this, you're missing out. I definitely recommend it. Again, if you've watched our review, we love this album. I love this album. You should love this album. But it came in at number 17, which I believe to be a perfectly acceptable place for it. Devin Townsend, Lightwork, and Nightwork. Check the shit out. Do it because we said so. Moving onward, coming in at number 16. Fuck, this is an amazing split EP, whatever it is. Ritual Necromancy and Fossilization with simply the title Split. 3 songs. The first song, Enter the Depths from Ritual Necromancy, comes in at like 15 minutes. The Fossilization songs, I think between the two of them, play out at another 15 minutes. This, I think, is some of the best work from either band. Ritual Necromancy, the 15-minute song on here, whoops ass. This is a go-to for me for when somebody asks for heavy, evil, frightening death metal. This is what I play. I jammed this over and over and over and over again, and what I found is at one of the pool halls in town, you can pull up Ritual Necromancy's Enter the Depths on the jukebox, and it does play for a full 15 minutes for just $1. I think I paid the extra $1 to skip ahead to this song to make an entire pool hall full of people jam Ritual Necromancy's 15-minute masterpiece. I love this album. Even though it's an EP, it's still long enough to be considered an album. I love everything about this. If I want caustic and heavy and yucky and evil, I will throw on this record every time. It is brilliant. I fucking love it. I'm not even going to say Chug and Dissonance, even though it's in here. I just love it. This is a great record. Number 16 for me. Killer. Please check it out. Thank you to both bands for this release. Coming in at number 15, Bloodbath with Survival of the Sickest. I know I said something similar to this for Immolation. I'm going to say it again. It's Bloodbath. One of the most amazing death metal bands on the face of the planet. First of all, some reviewer, YouTuber, I don't know who the hell it is, said that there are no riffs on this. Sir, whatever you are smoking, stop smoking it. Someone's ripping you off. There are riffs all over this record. This record could be named Survival of the Riffs. It could be called Riffs of the Sickest. Regardless, there are riffs all over this album. Bloodbath obviously brought some fun back to the mix with songs like Putrefying Corpse, Dead Parade, Malignant Magnet Therapy, Carved, and my all-time favorite, and the song I've listened to over and over and over and over again, No God Before Me. Sour Lemons to the max. I fucking love that song. It should be in everyone's playlist. This should be the centerpiece to your coffee table. It's Bloodbath. And yes, there are riffs, Mr. Reviewer Man who said there are no riffs. You're insane, sir, because there are riffs all over this. Bloodbath. Listen to it, fools. Coming in at number 14, Wormrot with Hiss. I think this is my first introduction to this band too. I think. I'm not 100%. You know, I've listened to like thousands of bands since starting this channel. Anyway, I digress. Since when did grind have so many elements? If prog grind prog, I'm gonna start a new genre, grind prog. Since when did grind prog become a thing? This is bar none one of the most entertaining listens I've ever heard to from start to finish. So many elements, doom, prog, punk, death metal, like ambient shit. There's water rushing, there's birds chirping. It's grindcore, but there are so many other things going on here. And it is so entertaining. Clean vocals at times. I think this record, again, is better captured as a whole. To break all these songs apart is ridiculous, although... I'm not going to do it. To break all these songs apart is ridiculous, but this album as a whole is fucking killer. Again, so much more than what I was expecting from the normal brutality and in-your-face ass-kicking of grind. So much to this record. If you haven't heard it, you're, again, doing yourself a disservice. I love this band. Good job, you guys. Number 14 for me. Badass album. Thank you. Number 13. Boy, we are getting down to the nit-grit here, people. Number 13, Conjurer with Pathos. Again, I didn't get a chance to review this album with Nick. Very unfortunate earlier in this year when work was kicking my ass and I didn't have time to do it. I love Conjurer. I've loved Conjurer since I found them in 2018 with Meyer. I've seen these guys multiple times live. I love this band. It's a crying fucking shame that after they recorded this, their drummer left. I think he was such a perfect fit for the band, but you know, it's 2022 and great drummers are out there. In fact, I know many available for hire right now. But this album whoops ass. I think this is more structured than Meyer was. I think it's more focused on groove and less on drone. Not that drones aren't a part of this or prevalent in it. It just seems like this is focused more on writing great riffs and writing a great song. The song Rot, dude, I love that song. Dude, the breakdown in that song is nasty. The breakdown in Basilisk, the melodies in Your Wake. I think this just shows a great progression for a band that is still kind of up and coming. Although they've been around for a couple years, they have, one full length and some EPs. This being their second full length. This is a great album. I can't wait to see where this band goes next. I really, really dig this band. Again, they've come up constantly on my Spotify playlist. I'll never turn off Conjurer. They're a great band to listen to. Check it out. Check out every band that's on my list, but check out Conjurer, because they're from the UK. And people in the UK whoop ass. I know Miller was just in the UK. And Conjurer's also from the UK. Check out Conjurer. Number 12. Also my first dance with this band. The band W.A.I.T, or better known as We Are in Transit. In a world void of textures and Exvius comes W.A.I.T. Genty, proggy. I think it's marketed as progressive death metal, but this just reminds me head over heels of textures and Exvius. I've always kind of been a sucker for gent music, and especially the more like melodic gent when it's done right. I like the fact that while there are clean vocals in this, they're not pussified. I really fell in love with songs like Half Funeral, Lone Presence Supreme, End of Noise. It's 7 songs, it's 50 minutes. I think there are some beautiful, wonderful melodies in here. I think that the mix on here is perfection as far as this genre of music. Everything is well heard. The guitar riffs are super hefty, super chunky. The drums are present, but they're not clicky. The vocals remind me of... I almost said Circles for a minute, but they remind me more of Uneven Structure, if you've ever heard that band. It's a great record to kind of just zone out to. You definitely get some of those, off-time head bobs. I just love this band. I can't wait to see what these guys do next. W.A.I.T, The End of Noise. This album whoops ass. You should listen to it. Definitely check it out. Last but not least, for the 25 through 11. Coming in at number 11 is Russian Circles with Gnosis. I have been a Russian Circles fan since, Enter? I think Enter was the first one. I don't know. I'd have to go back and look. But I've been a fan of Russian Circles the entire time Russian Circles has been a thing. One of the things I liked about Russian Circles initially was it was kind of groovy, but it was really mellow. in this case, this album, which we reviewed, shocked the fuck out of me. The title track itself, Gnosis, in fact, the first 3 tracks on this album are riffy and heavy and more akin to death metal than it is Russian Circle's normal shtick. While this record is packed full of groove and packed full of melodic spacey moments like this band is known for, it is really heavy, and it is focused more on grooves and less on those calmer, chill sections. While they are still there, there's just a whole new batch of groove and a bunch of heft that I think this band has been missing forever. I love this record. It's a great record to listen to. I think you can pull this out for so many people, because even people that aren't fans of metal, I think will like this because there aren't any harsh vocals to contend with. This band has always done good things. They continue to do good things. I can't wait to see what comes next, but this album whoops ass. I am proud to have it on my number 11. So, that is going to bring us to the end of at least 25 through 11, leaving a top 10. You tell me in the comments what you think are in that top 10, because there are some gems in there for sure. If you haven't heard me say a few things that you know I'm a fan of, they're probably coming in the 1 through 10 section. Anyway, if you like what you saw, please hit the like button and the subscribe button. We can also be found at thrallsofmetal.com. Inside thrallsofmetal.com is not only our shirts, which are available for sale, but a link to our Patreon, where we have a bunch of more content. In fact, we have a poll going on right now for what are the next batch of bands that we're going to rank. And I think my poll is about to close, and I think the other ones have been chosen, but I have no idea. Hit us up on our Patreon if you would like to help us there. Last but not least, we have Denver Death Fest coming really soon. What is today? The 14th of December. By the time you see this, it'll probably be like the 19th of December or something like that. Anyway, really soon coming up is the full lineup for Denver Death Fest. We are very thankful, very happy, and very proud to be a part of that. I can't wait to I can't wait to show you guys the lineup for this. I'm very impressed with it and very proud of it, and very happy for what's coming. Of course, it will be April 20th through the 22nd in Denver, Colorado. Again, Denver Death Fest makes sense, right? But that's where it'll be. Last but not least, thank you very much to each and every one of you for continuing to tune in and watch the malarkey here that we pump out of Thralls of Metal. I can't believe that this is still getting bigger to this day. I remember when we hit like 10 subscribers, and I was like, all right, going places. And then it hit 100, and I was like, dude, pretty sweet. And then it hit 1,000, and I was kind of tripped out. And then it hit 2,000, and I was even more tripped out. And now we're pushing close to 14,000. Are you fucking kidding me? Thank you so much for tuning in and watching our shenanigans and watching us talk about metal and our love for it. Thank you for interacting and all the wonderful things you do. I'm going to shut the fuck up now so I can get through 1 to 10. So thank you very much for tuning in, and you guys take care.